Here you go. I'm gonna do the Devon, and then I think I'm done for the night because I am like exhausted. Okay, so, and I look like extremely big on here, but whatever. So, let's go over the pieces. This is the second time I've tried to do this video, so maybe I'll get it right this time. So, you have your front. This is the Devon. This is the nice professional looking pouch with the 2 zippers and the vinyl. So, for your bag, if you wanted to make one. Because I know you said you wanted to make a pouch. So, here is, and you know how to make basic zipper pouches. So, but this is the Devon. So, here's your front panel piece with fabric, SF101, and a heavy interfacing like 808 or 809 you can get from Walmart. 2 zippers. Again, I don't use zipper tabs, so it doesn't matter the length, just as long as the front one is as wide as your panel piece. Your pocket, your 2 lining pieces, the 2 side pieces for the front panel, your front band, and your back. It's a lot of pieces, but once we get started, line all of our pieces up. All right, first thing, just like with the Cellmate, take your front piece, your zipper, right sides together, pull to the left, facing down. Attach that. Again, I know you don't like to do all these extra steps, but if you get used to it, it actually does keep everything lined up. Pocket, right sides together on top, and then you just add that on there. See, just like that, and sew that down. Remember about your interfacing, the heavier it is, the harder it will be for your machine. So whenever you go to add all this together, again, if anybody's watching this, I am not a professional. I do things differently. I might cuss in this video, which we found out in my last video on accident. And I don't pretend to know everything. There are plenty of videos out there that do a lot better job than me. I just don't care to get my hair done and nails done just to post a video. So, which, you know, some people don't, some people do. Anyways, so flip that over just like that and top stitch just like the Cellmate. Make sure it's nice and even and flat. And you're going to top stitch about 1/8 of an inch away from the zipper. Alright, fold that pocket up just like that, just like this, and clip that down. You can baste it if you want. My machine does not like to baste on cotton, so you can take your side pieces, put them on there. But if you have a zipper that's bigger, make sure you move that zipper pocket. If it don't line up exactly, don't worry about it. You can trim it down, because again, it's just a bunch of squares. And your seam allowance could be off, or you could have cut it wrong. See, like that. So, actually, I am going to sew the zipper down so it does not move on me whenever I add my side piece. So To do that, you just open up your zipper and go within the seam allowance so nobody can see it when it's done. Like that. See? Yeah, I told you, my machine does not like thin stuff. Alright. And then, where's my other piece? Find your other piece. And put that right sides together on the other side. Give me 1 second and I'll show you what it looks like. Open up that zipper. So, unless you base that pocket down, you're going to have your pocket clipped and your side pieces clipped. Oh, almost messed up. Make sure you have your side pieces on the right side where they open up. 1 second and I'll show you. Let me get this all straightened up. Get that even. So, this is what it looks like. Because I didn't base my pocket yet, so I have my pocket flipped up here just to hold it on there for right now. Then I have my side pieces. You want the opening to be in towards the middle, so when you open it, the opening's on the outside. That's very important, or you'll have to pick it. You can't fix that by cutting it. So again, this needs to be facing towards the middle, and you're going to stitch right here. Cannot remember exactly what the seam allowance is, but I do mine on these because they're so small, just the width, like a 1/4 inch, the width of my foot. So there you go. So that, again, like right here, if this doesn't match up, that's fine. Just trim it whenever you get done. There are other videos out there for this actually that I can recommend. But she does it by the book, by the pattern. See, so you have it just like that. Now to do the other side. Alright, don't forget to trim these threads. Okay, and then again, you can trim everything to match before you top stitch, or you'll have way too much bulk in there. Then you just cut straight across. Actually, I think in the pattern, she wants you to cut it down. I believe so, in this pattern. Might be wrong. So don't bite my head off if I am. Okay, see? So that's how it looks. Now you're going to keep a hold of that, open this, and top stitch on this side. So you want your seam allowance, where you just stitched your seam allowance, to be on your side panel. Not this way, this way. So when you're laying it flat, it actually lays flat, and you just fold those, and you're going to top stitch. Just like this. That's what the front, and this is the back. Again, seam allowance goes towards the side panels. That's what will give it that nice little poof look. I remember when I first started sewing, I was like, what the? That doesn't matter. But it does, so learn from my mistakes. It matters. See, gives it that nice little edge look right there. Don't worry, that pocket is going to get sewn up on this next step. Okay. There you go. Just like that. And just make any. Okay, so next thing. Top edge. And this is going to be wider. Don't freak out. Just cut it down. I think you're supposed to cut this down too. And I meant to before I made my templates and never got around to it. So I just line it up and then trim it after I'm done. So this is where you'll get that pocket piece. So make sure you move your zipper out of the way when you go down. So just like that. And you'll have this overhang. You can go ahead if I know you have OCD, go ahead and trim it if you want. There you go. Now it matches. And then just stitch. Again, I just use the width of my foot. I think it's like 1/4. And make sure you get that, you don't sew over your zipper. And move your zipper head out of the way so you don't get a bulk. And keep on going. Okay, so you got it done, right? Now when you flip this up, your seam allowance goes towards the panel, the top panel. So lay it down like this. Lay it flat. Fold that up and your seam allowance will automatically go under your panel. Right? Okay? So fold that up. You want it, remember, away from the zipper. Make sure your zipper is good in there. You didn't miss it. And then top stitch 1/4 inch and move the zipper pull as needed. But remember that seam allowance needs to be folded up and you need to be sewing on top of it. There we go. I need to sweep. Okay, front panel is done. Now, all you gotta do now is like you do any other pouch. Zipper, lining, and back. But we'll go over it together. So you'll have it in case in your videos. You can always check and make sure, see, pocket's all closed up. Zipper's working. I always move my middle zippers or any zippers I have in the front to the middle, just in case I come off my seam allowance and with my machine I don't want to accidentally hit that. So let's add this top zipper. I'm not doing zipper tabs again, so I'm just sticking my zipper on there and it doesn't matter about it. So you want it right sides together, zipper pull to the left because we got this one to the left. Let me add a couple more. All right, one lining piece, right sides together. Line it all up and then clip it down. Again, if it doesn't all line up like this, see, you can just cut it. No biggie. So, let's actually cut it down right now because it is messing up my sew line. So, if you have the pattern, please feel free to look at the pattern and it will tell you exactly, I cannot remember what needed to be cut down. I love this pattern. I'm not a fan of how it was written because I'm not a fan of paying that much money for something that I have to cut out all the pieces for. I know that sounds petty, but that's just me. And then you cut down the pieces and then you have to cut them down some more. So why not just give me the measurements of the finished piece? But whatever. Anyway, so you got it. You're gonna flip it over, top stitch. Make sure that lining is pulled down. I love this black promo from My Punk Embroidery. It's like my favorite. It's pliable, it's soft, and it's just, I just love it. All right. Let me sew across this zipper because I cut off that thing. All I did was I had cut off the zipper stop, so I sewed across this, so if I accidentally open it all the way, it does not come off. So there it is, top stitched. That piece done. See, almost done, and it's only been 16 minutes. So again, right sides together, line it up one. If your pieces don't exactly match, always line up on one side and cut the other. Don't try and line up, don't try and do it from the middle. Just my opinion. You can cut it however you want. Right sides together, and see, did not line up, so I'm just going to trim that down. Last piece, lining piece, right on top of your lining piece. So it should be back piece, front piece, lining, lining. Again, if they don't match up, trim it down. You don't necessarily have to trim the zipper right now. So one of the benefits of having your zipper longer, if you don't use zipper tabs, is keeping it closed, and then you don't have this bulge right here, and it doesn't slip and fall. So I always keep it closed past the end, so my zipper actually stays together. Okay. I'm actually surprised at how fast this is going. Alright, there you go. With my zipper. So again, open it up, pull it away from the zipper, and top stitch 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. And this is where you can also try and work your zipper straight if it's crooked or anything, just as long as you don't get that lining piece stuck too far out, because then your zipper will catch on it. So pull it flat, don't pull it too flat though, because then you'll see your stitches, and get that zipper straight. there it is. So now to close it, or to finish the bag, this is where you'll open up your zipper. I opened it up just about halfway, a little bit more. You don't have to really trim it. And then match up. Remember, zipper gets folded towards the lining. So you'll match up those top edges of your outside pieces. Fold that lining into, fold that zipper into your lining, just like that. See, there's the zipper. Can you see it? Like, it makes a little U shape. I do those first before I do the rest. So line up the top. And on this side, it will look like that. It's just flat, but facing the lining. And then pin the rest. Again, it doesn't match. I trim because all right, pin it all down. Again, just like with those cellmates, when you pin it down, you're gonna start, you need a hole right here for your hand. So you'll start like just the corners, just big enough for your hand. In a minute, I'll show you what we're going to do with those notches that you have. Those will actually be what makes the bag kind of stand up. Pull that lining down. Okay. All right. Again, I'm not sure what the pattern calls for seam allowance, but I do just about the width of my foot, maybe a little bit more. Remember, start, maybe this will help. This is where I start. You're going to stitch this a couple of times, back stitch, and then go. When you get to these corners, you're gonna go, I always back stitch right here because the next step, you don't want your stitches coming undone. So you'll start here, go, back stitch, pick up your foot. You can cut the threads and start again, or you can just move it and start again. And then you'll start here, back stitch, go all the way down to here. Back stitch, don't go down this line. Back stitch down here at the corner, pick it up, back stitch here, go down. You're going to do that all the way. Do not sew these lines. You are going to just keep your machine straight. Do not turn it. So again, and you'll finish right here. So start here, go to the end, back stitch, pick it up, start here, back stitch, go all the way to the end, back stitch, pick it up, back stitch here, and go all the way around, and then you'll stop here and give it a couple of good stitches. That's kind of dumb, but whatever. I do not want to hear how, or not get that point across, because trust me, the first couple of times I made something with notches like this, I was like totally confused. Okay. Again, I like to back stitch over my zipper just in case while I'm turning it, the zipper Throws it fit. And my bobbin, for some reason, is giving me fits. There we go. Alright, so trim all your threads down, just cut those corner threads, trim that zipper off. That's it, that's all you trim, because your seam allowance wasn't huge. So, for these, I know me and you have made one of these before, but just in case you don't remember, put your hand in here, open up that pocket, open up that zipper all the way. Okay, so put your hand in here, go to this corner, you're going to spread this out and match up those two seams. See? Can you see that? Go match up those seams and clip it, and then sew it across. I do about a quarter, sew across it. Oh, that broke. This is where you might have to be careful with your machine, because there's going to be a lot of vinyl right there in that seam. Okay. Trim, see? So you have that. This is what I'm talking about right here. You have this seam and all this vinyl, so be careful. And then trim that down just barely, just enough to where you don't have too much bulk. And again, do it for the other one, other four corners. So I'm gonna open it up and match those seams. It's easy if you put one way and the other way. Match them up, clip it if you need to, and sew across it. Okay, so there's the bottom. Do the same thing for the other side. Yes, this can get a little bit tricky, and sticking out my tongue kind of helps. right, when you do that, let me get a label. Reach in there and start working it out. I like to push my bags into my lining like this, see? And then reach in and pull it out instead. Some people reach all the way in and start working it out that way, but I have found it's easier for me to just pop it into the lining and then pull it out. Okay, so there you go. Work your hand in there, pop everything out. Make sure your seams, you ain't got no holes. This is a good time to check and make sure you didn't miss anything, since the seam allowance was only the width of the foot. See, so just go through, push that zipper out. This is why I backstitch over my zipper a couple of times, because I'm going to be working it out. All right, now time to close it up and push everything back in. So let's close this up. So there we go. Push everything back down in there. Get those corners into the other corners so it sits nice and tight. You can add card slots into here. I'm not a fan of card slots. They get on my nerves. You can add, and this is big enough to add maybe a small slip pocket in, but ooh, my battery's about to die. So zip it up. There you go. There's you a Devon pouch, all done. So I only got 5% left on my battery, so I better get going. So thanks.